Hi Fitness Grandmas, we're going to go over a lower body workout today. You're going to need, if you have an old backpack around the house, that'll be perfect. We're going to fill it up with 20 pounds of weight. And then you could also use an old purse or something if you don't have a backpack, but I think most of y'all should have a little backpack hanging around. But what I want you to do is get good and warmed up. So either go for a walk for about 3 minutes, or if you have stairs, it'd be great if you walk up and down the stairs. I'd say if you went up and down the stairs about 4 to 5 times, that should get you nice and warm, so you'll just feel like you have some blood in your legs. You should be just a little bit starting to sweat. You want your body good and warm. Your heart rate should be elevated a little bit. And then we're going to go through a little stretch exercise. So what I want you to do first, after you get warmed up, is put your legs about just a little bit past shoulder width and reach down in front of you. Keep your knees locked and come down and touch your toes, or at least get close. And so I want you to hold that position for a good 12 seconds or so, and then spread your legs out a little bit, and you'll come down. And you should be pausing the video and doing these stretching exercises as I go along with it. Come down and touch your right leg, and I use my left hand on my right leg to kind of keep my knee straight and relax. And then I can come down and I can touch my toes, and you'll hang that for about 12 seconds. Then we'll move to the left and do the same thing. Once you have that done, I want you to find something to prop up against. Put your hand on the wall and stand on your left leg. Grab your right leg. And what we want to do is get our quads on our right leg. So all these muscles right here in the front of your leg, you should get those nice and stretched out. That should take about 12 seconds. Then do the other side, same thing. After you finish that, we're going to do your calves. So I want you to get in the push-up position and put one leg back, and with your other leg, let me see if I can get a good angle. With your other leg, I want you to come on the top, and then you should be able to kind of put your butt up in the air and put some stress on your calf muscles so that it's nice and tense. You see how my calf muscle is tight? And then put your other leg, I use that one just to kind of relax. Hold that for 12 seconds and then switch sides. What we also need to do is get your groin area in here. So what we used to do in football, we called it bear in the woods. You get in the catcher's position, then put your hands out a little bit underneath your knees, or maybe a little bit wider, and you press out. You should feel a nice stretch in your groin area. You're going to hold that for 12 seconds. And then what I want to do is really hit your hamstrings. So put a knee down. I'm on a hard floor, but you might find somewhere soft, like with carpet or something. But yeah, put one knee down, one leg forward. And what I'm going to do is kind of rock forward and get a nice stretch into my hamstring. And it should go into your glute just a little bit in your butt. And hold that. And then do the other leg as well. And you should be nice and stretched and ready to go and loosened up. So the first exercise that we're going to do, we're going to get the backpack with 20 pounds in it. I think would be good for all of you guys. If you weigh yourself on the scale and put the weight in the backpack and then weigh yourself again, that's how you can get the 20 pounds. So go ahead and put this on, and I want you to, this one's kind of loose, but I want you to cinch it up so that it's up on top of your back. You want it up here. You want a little gap between the top of your butt and the backpack. That way it's up on your shoulders. You don't want it riding on your butt is what I'm trying to get at. So the first exercise is going to be just a regular squat. So I'm going to get a stance just barely past my shoulders. See how my feet are just barely outside of my shoulders. And then what you're going to do is you're going to come down and your knees should stay over your feet. You don't want your knees going way out here or anything like that. Your knees should stay just barely over your toes, and you're going to kind of sit back and put your weight onto your heels. So you're going to drive directly through that center of gravity, okay? So we're going to come down. You're going to have to put your hands out in front of you most likely. Sorry, my screensaver went on. But you're going to have to put your hands out in front of you to balance yourself, most likely. So get your feet shoulder width apart, reach out, come down. And what you're going to do is get down here and you're parallel, and see my knees are just over the top of my toes. So come down, parallel, and I want you to use your butt and your hamstrings and your quads all at once to explode upwards. And that's going to be the finish of 1 rep. What I want you to keep in mind is that as you're going down, you're going to go real slow, and you're going to pop up, okay? So just real slow going down and pop up. And I want you to get as low as you can without, if you watch, most people, they have what we call a butt wink whenever you get low enough. I know that's kind of a funny name. But if you go low enough, your butt starts to kind of wink, like wink down. And we don't want that. We want to keep your butt out, and you're going to keep your spine straight, okay? The loading should go all the way through your spine, and you should be able to keep your back completely straight the whole time. So it's going to look like that. So I want you to do, I'd say 3 to 4 sets of 12, whatever you're comfortable with. If the resistance in the backpack doesn't feel like enough, go ahead and add a little bit more. But that's going to be the finish of our first exercise. All right, exercise 2 is lunges. So what I want you to do is keep the backpack on, and you're going to take steps out in front of you, and you're really, whenever you take your step forward, you should get your knee pretty close to the ground. You don't need to hit your knee on the ground. We don't want that impact. But you should feel nice and tight through your glute area and through your hamstrings, and also in your quads just a little bit. So then step up, bring it together, and then you'll step forward with your other foot, okay? It's going to look something like this. Straight forward, okay? And you can also do it backwards. This also, it should keep from having impact on your knees. So moving backwards is actually a good thing. But on this exercise, I also want you to go down really slow, pop up. Really slow, pop up. The reason why we're doing a little bit slower on the retraction and then kind of popping on the contraction of your muscles is because your muscles are actually like fingers that are grabbing onto each other, and they'll tighten up and they'll loosen out and they'll tighten up. Well, what you're really doing when you work out is tearing your muscles, and then they have to recover. So what happens is during this retraction, your muscles actually have a tendency to tear more. So we want to go really slow and focus on our muscle groups during the retraction. And then during the contraction, we want to be a little bit more explosive with our movements, okay? Okay, for the third exercise, you're actually going to go ahead and take your backpack off. And I want you to get it down on all fours and keep your back straight. And you're going to be on 3 points of contact with the ground. You're going to stick your other leg up in the air. And what you're targeting is your ass. You're going to try to get your glutes on this one. So I want you to extend, keep your legs straight, come up, flex, and come down real slow. And back up, like that. Down real slow, up. We're going to do sets of about You should be able to do more of these because they're not as there's not as much weight on it. So I'd say you should be able to do at least 15 at a time. So 15 on each leg for 3 sets is what I would like you to do. All right, for our next exercise, I want you to get your backpack with the 20 pounds in it, and I want you to hug it. And my waistline is right here, so I'm a little above my waistline. I want you to get a stance about just past shoulder width, just like we did on our squats. And I want you to bend forward as far as you can go, and then come back up. So you should keep your spine straight, stick your butt out, and you're going to come forward until you can't go anymore. And see, now I'm starting to have to bend over. I don't want to do that. I want to keep my back straight. And then come back up. And you should be able to do 12 to 15 of these. It depends on what you're comfortable with. And you're going to do 3 sets of these as well. All right, the next exercise is calves. So if you have stairs, that's great. We're going to use the bottom step of the stairs. If you don't have stairs, you'll need to find something that is real solid that won't move on you. Be careful what you pick. You don't want it slipping out from under you. But you're going to put the ball of your foot onto the step. Hang the ridge of your foot should be out away from the step. So it's just the tip of your foot that's on there. And then I want you to grab, like support yourself, but don't lift yourself up with your hand. Just keep yourself balanced. And you're trying to hide my other leg, but you're going to come up, and you should come up and flex real tight, and then come down, come up and flex, down real slow. Remember, we're going slower on our retraction. Contract, and then down, and you should be able to get probably about 15 to 20 of each of those, and do 3 sets on each leg. The last thing that I want you to do is, if you do have a staircase, I want you to finish off by doing stairs again. So I would say go up and down the stairs about 5 times. Should be pretty good. And then if you don't have stairs, whatever you were standing on for your calves, you might have, some of y'all might have one of those little steppers. I don't remember what they're called, but anyway, if you want to do step-ups, that would be good. So once you get done with your workout, be sure and cool down by stretching everything out, and try to stretch as far as you can. Hold each stretch for 12 seconds, and then you should be good.